It's tough. I remember I used to work 60s.
Nope, there it goes. There it goes. Okay. Did you ever get the thing from, what's his name? So we're going to, is it long, short, or what?
About 5 hours.
3 sentences?
3 pages.
Hold that. Please. You know that?
I'm not going to hold it through the whole meeting.
Huh? That's your job. It's cold and we're late and we're sorry. About that. Who's back there wants to say it? What?
Take a piece of tape from the top to the back so that it holds it straight and long, doesn't have to hold it.
I'm not going to hold it long.
I don't know.
2 o'clock late. You know? That day was washed, but I kind of got used to it.
Okay. We're going to start here, and as we typically do, I'm going to ask Charlie Jones to say a prayer for us, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we're so thankful for this day, Lord. We're just thankful for another year. We're thankful, Lord, for the knowledge that you give to us, and we just pray that you'll continue to bless the city, O Lord. We pray for each council member, Lord, as they make decisions here for the betterment of the city, and we just praise your holy name, Lord. And we ask all these things in your blessed name. Amen.
Amen.
Rogers absent.
Call the roll, please.
Duckworth.
Here.
Bulletin.
Here.
Partee.
Here.
Rittenberry.
Here.
Hood.
Yeah.
Meredith.
Here.
Grantham.
Yes, here.
Okay. A motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Duckworth.
Abstain.
Bulletin.
Yes.
Partee.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grantham.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I don't have an agenda on me pretty quick. All right. Let's see. Approval of the reports and bills.
Motion.
Second.
Duckworth.
Yes.
Bulletin.
Yes.
Partee.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grantham.
Yes.
Okay. Presentation of petitions, letters, and other communications. You want to do it that? You want to do that now? Or do you want to wait?
We can, however you want to do it.
You want to do it now, or you want to wait?
Sure. Just to advise everyone, the Erica Grady lawsuit has been settled by MoPerm. There was a settlement of $30,000. The city's deductible portion is $1,000. I think you've received a bill for that already. Is that correct, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. And so the Erica Grady matter has been settled.
Okay. Under unfinished business, have you unfinished business?
Yes. The contract with MoDOT, it wasn't in our packet. Did we get a copy of it?
I haven't run across it. I didn't look real hard for it, but anyway, I saw part of it. But anyway, sorry.
Can we get a copy before we leave here tonight? We did
I doubt
ask
it.
for it at the-
I doubt it.
Is
I doubt it.
Okay, why do you doubt that? Are we not-
I just have. I'm not gonna look for it right now, but I'll get
Well,
it
I
to
didn't mean
you.
right now, but we can recess at the end of the meeting and you can go find it and give us.
You'll
a
get
copy.
it. You'll get it.
Well, hang on just a minute. We asked for a
Anyway,
copy at the last meeting.
I understand that real well. I also asked you for revised minutes.
And I
For
sent you an
no. That doesn't count. When you say that you don't know who's here and all that, it's each individual minutes needs to be revised, every single one.
And I sent a copy to every finance committee member and said, if you remember anybody else that was at any of these meetings,
It's
please let me
important
know.
that people who are in attendance at a committee meeting be listed. That's probably one of the most
Well,
important
hang on a
things you could do.
minute. I don't have whatever.
But
Hang on.
as far as the MoDOT thing is, it's only basically says, come pick up your signs and stuff like that. But
Wait,
anyway,
let's go,
but
hang on.
what?
I do not mind putting who attends meetings on the minutes, and I will do that. But I do have a question why the finance committee is the only committee you ever ask for the minutes for, and all these other people sitting around here that have committees never submit their minutes, nor do they submit who is at their
I
meeting.
think they do submit their
No,
minutes.
I've never seen one set of minutes from a water committee, an insurance committee, a street and sanitation committee. Has anybody else? Do you know who attends any of those meetings? So if you want a hound on the finance committee, I'll be glad to do. I agree with you that what you are asking for is not out of line. But if you're gonna do it for one committee, you're gonna do it for all of them. That's all I have to say about it.
Good for you. Yes, sir.
My question was an easy one, without conflict.
Okay. All right.
Question
I'll look
was,
for
do
it,
we
but
have the contract
I have
so
to
that we can
pull it
read
up. I'll have to pull it up. Okay.
That's all I want, without
I got it,
conflict.
and I will send it to you.
Thank you.
No problem. But basically, all it says is we're going to pick up trash, as I said before, and we get a sign. All right, that's all we're agreeing to, actually. So anyway, under reports, under mayor's report, first of all, credibility, as I always say, be honest, ethical, and trustworthy. Fairness, be fair, impartial, and equitable in everything we do. Excellence, dedicate ourselves to be the very best. I did talk to Mr. Rosen today, and I gave him some information about a potential, and I emailed it to him, but he has nothing new to report. And I did learn of the closure of Save-A-Lot. I did send an email to Save-A-Lot corporate, and they sent me an email back saying that that was on Saturday, and they sent me an email back saying they were sorry that the decision they made and all that. And then 2 minutes later, they sent me another email, and they asked if we had any locations available. So I did call the person that whose name was on the email, but it's a St. Louis number, and I don't know if they work today or not, as cold as it was. And so anyway, all I got was voicemail all day. So I'll continue to follow up on that. The Liberty Utilities, as I've mentioned before, are working for a rate increase, and I will find out from I guess I'm going to have to find out from the Missouri Public Service Commission what it is, because I have not heard. I did talk to Ed Reeves today about the brownfields, and he has indicated that there is some movement in the state, and so they have promised him that they will get this together, and so I think he's thinking that after these holidays, then those that will take place. You have a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Utilities. It is brought, and this is not only on Liberty, but also Ameren and other utility companies, because of the businesses that are in town. Their utility bills are skyrocketing, and they're having a hard time making them. Have you talked to any of our representatives, like statewide, that could probably assist us in these meetings, or talk to anybody like Andrew McDaniel or any other?
Relative to the rate changes?
Yeah.
Okay. All these utility companies apply through the Missouri Public Service Commission,
Right.
and they're the ones who make the ruling. And any of those representatives are free to write a letter to to them regarding the rate increase, or go to a hearing. And I don't know if any of them have ever attended. I have, but I don't know that they have. I've not ever seen any of them.
Mine was just if we had contacted them on behalf of the city, asking for their help and assistance in this, because it does affect our citizens.
Well,
and their decisions.
this rate increase is not just Caruthersville; it's huge. So the answer to your question is no, not specifically.
Okay, thank you.
But to me, it makes more sense for the mayor of a town to go and basically assert themselves relative to a rate increase.
I'll call him tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Hood.
Yes, my question is, in relation to the Save-A-Lot situation, because I think, did I hear you correctly to say that when they called you back, when they.
No, I didn't get a call. It was it was an email. Email.
That they were asking for possible other locations?
Yes, sir.
Is that an indication that they may stay if they can find one? or
I
they-
believe, believe pretty sure that there are franchise. You know, anybody can get a franchise, and they have corporate stores, and they also have franchise. So, and it was corporate that I got this email from, not the franchisee.
Okay, but I guess what I'm asking, I know it's a franchise, did you believe it was an indication that they may be willing to stay in the city? if
Well,
they
I
can
mean,
find
that's what
another
I would think
location?
that meant.
That's
You
what I
know,
wanna
and it certainly, like I said, I tried to call them, and I didn't get, they didn't call me back or whatever, and it doesn't hurt to try.
No, it
So,
doesn't. The reason I
yeah.
brought the question up is because there are a lot of people around town that are alarmed at the fact that we're losing another business. And, I think from wherever, from the top down, we should be doing whatever we can. And when you brought that out,
Exactly.
I thought that was good, but I did want to clear up. If you thought that just that much information would sound as it wasn't an indication that they would consider.
Well, it sounds more promising than the first 2 minutes prior the email that I got that said, "Sorry, we're leaving."
Okay, so we're gonna
So-
follow up on that, right?
Yes, sir. Okay. The airport car. I went to the city of Portageville this morning, and I did drive this 2006 Crown Vic. It's got 96,000 miles on it. It's white, and the tires are a year old. It ran good, and it was really, really warm in that car. It was nice. So anyway, they're going to sell it, the city of Portageville. And since we're going from one public entity, 501c3, to another one, they won't be required to bid. So all they have to do is set a price. So I would like for the council to authorize me to purchase the car, and I would say, should I give them I would say if it's $1,700 or thereabouts, would that,
So it's not what this bid is? It's not what
talking about the
said
email?
about
The-
blue book value of $1,500?
Yes, sir.
What we're offering.
And the reason why I say that's what the mayor said, and the mayor's going to bring it up Thursday to his board of aldermen, and they're going to vote on that, and so anyway, I just wanted just a little flexibility if necessary, because they might say, well, it's got brand new tires on it or whatever, so I just want a little flexibility in this negotiation, if that's possible.
Is this the one that's got markings on it already?
Yes.
Fire chief? Okay,
Yes.
So we're gonna put markings on it for the.
They're going to take all the stuff off of it, and it's got a light bar and all kinds of stuff.
Right. Are we gonna put markings on it for the courtesy car?
I'm sure. But I'm just trying to find cheap.
$1,500 is cheap.
96,000 miles isn't bad. And it beats going up to Jeff City in the cold. So I'd like somebody to make a motion and give me some kind of a indication what you feel that we can enter into an agreement with them to buy this car. Is that appropriate?
Do we have a problem? Should we set a limit or what? I mean, that's,
You could, however you want to do it. You could give them authority up to a certain amount, or you could,
I don't get it as cheap as I can get it, but
I think the mayor has authority up to a certain amount anyway.
yeah. I thought so.
1,500, isn't it?
Is that what it is? All the towns are different, so I forget which one.
I think it's more than that.
Have you seen the car?
He said
He said he drove it.
It's a good car.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed that part.
It didn't actually, yeah, it's not hurt. I've seen it as well.
Yeah, 1,500 isn't there.
1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can go if I'm allowed to go over 1,500. You got to approve it.
I'll make a motion to allow you to negotiate up to $1,700.
Thank you.
No problem.
Rogers. Duckworth.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Partee.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grantham.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's that gonna be paid for?
Pardon me.
Where is that going to be paid for?
What do you think? I mean, I don't think the airport fund has much money in it, does it?
I didn't bring my budget with me, but
Okay.
I would say
Well,
probably.
I mean, just because we can wait. We can wait a little bit to determine exactly where. But $15 or $1,700 is not enough money to
Right.
get too fussy over.
We just need to know where to put it in the
Yep.
budget.
But we'll figure that out. Okay, the Carnell property, the anticipated demolition date is January the 8th, but due to very, very cold weather, I don't know if it'll be exactly that date. And it's my understanding that all the costs incurred will be added to the taxes, city
That's
taxes.
correct. There'd be a certification of the dollar amount to the collector
Okay.
as to how much to collect.
All righty. Let's see.
Mayor,
Yes.
concerning demolishing those properties, I noticed that we had a list of 4 that we were gonna tear down, and we did 3. But somehow or another, every time we get to Ward 1, things get pushed back. We still got that house over there on 15th, across from the Lincoln Extension, and I'm 18th.
Okay.
Lincoln
I'm
Extension.
not familiar with that one in particular.
Mm-hmm.
However, this one is an environmental hazard.
Yeah.
And because a person passed away in there and he decomposed in there,
Okay.
and so we have to do what DNR says relative to getting rid of it and all that, and so that's the reason why we're doing it this way.
Okay, I
And
understand.
I understand-
the Cardinal property. I'm talking about the property on 18th Street that's been sitting
Okay.
there for
Okay.
100 years.
And
And it
It's
has
been
been.
worn
and
out.
that, and I would think that would be Terry's.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, because Terry, I talked to Terry, and Terry said all he had to do was call the gas company. I'm just wondering why it hadn't been done.
I can't answer the question. I don't know.
So,
Do we have the right of entry on that property yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to.
It does need to come down. It's been there for, as long as I can ever remember.
What's the address? No. It's on where?
Right across from the Lincoln Extension.
Okay. The White House.
On that corner.
Okay.
The burnout, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been hard. Trees up around it.
yeah. I think it happened because the county, it was given to the city.
Pardon me?
The county gave it to the city. It's our property.
I wonder.
Well then,
Oh,
we've got the
wonderful.
right of entry.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, really.
For you.
Yeah.
I'd just like to.
Okay. I'll check on it.
Thank you.
How about we do this? How about, another step to that, how about we look at all the properties that are under the city and see if there's any structures on any of those that need to be
Taken
taken down
down.
while we're doing it all.
Yep. Good point.
And then we can sell them at the tax sale when we sell this one as a list.
We had discussed the neighboring parties to the properties that was being demolished had first rights to that
Right,
property,
right.
especially if they've been taking care of it over the years. And this one has been sitting there, I know, for at least 10 years.
2003.
2003. So, you know.
Okay. So I did send information to John Chittenden regarding the additional looping of lines for the Marlar project, and of course he's going to have to get some easements and stuff. So I gave him the owners of that property. Republic Services, if you didn't realize, did not pick up anything today. Nothing. So tomorrow 2 trucks are coming. So they had the cold temperatures. They said froze up their hydraulic lines, and they probably put heaters on them and stuff, but nobody made it down here today.
So
Nobody.
that's for Monday and Tuesday pickup, right?
Well, they said 2 trucks, so I presume they're coming Saturday.
Cause I got way behind, I started getting calls last week.
Cause
So,
Wednesday, so, cause
Um,
our tomorrow would be picked up Thursday, right?
so
Okay.
they're still only supposed to be a day behind based on Monday was a holiday.
Well, if they got 2 trucks down here, that'll help.
Yeah,
You know.
Just getting prepared for the people that are supposed to be picked up tomorrow, that I already know that they gotta pick up on.
Well, if
Thursday.
if it's not picked up, they'll realize, and hopefully they'll be wise enough to leave it out there till it does get picked up. At least they're in blue cans so they can be easily picked up and the dogs don't get them. Okay, Republic Services will be working on Martin Luther King Day. Then on the let's see, what else? Rec Center Roof, Pyramid Roofing, I talked to them today. They've ordered the materials and they need a warmer temperature in order to work. And I put that land cost thing in there. Maybe when we're in closed session, we can talk something about that. Drainage, as I mentioned, drainage from Carroll to near Ward Avenue is complete. The Bell Avenue area should be completed pretty soon. Then we're going to talk now about drainage between East 19th and East 20th. And this is running from James Strickland. Where are you, James? There you are. And he's been dealing with a water problem at his house for a while. How long?
Well, me and Diane filled it in even for the tornado. It's been about close to almost 20 years now. That we brought the dirt in because the water was standing in the ditch. It would, get fungus before it would ever drain. So we filled the ditch in now. It's all over my yard now. So we was going to put a drainage box in. Well, the box never got put in. She got sick, and then Sue took over, and then Rick took over, and I kept pushing back, and the man done a real good job over on West 20th, and he come by and give me an estimate what it would cost to fix put 70 foot of pipe in, take the covered out on.
Right. And this is the price that I put here in your notes, and which is $7,790. And then John Chittenden and I talked to him today, and he recommends that we cut the street and take that pipe out that's there, and then backfill it with gravel, and then this summer come back and put asphalt over it. And doing that, it'll deduct $1,040 off that price. So we can do that while Mr. Bear's here for $6,750 and fix that. And it'll be nice, and it'll run from.
Put a 70-foot piece of pipe from
Right.
my side of the street all the way past Mrs. Johnson's driveway and slope. The rest of it runs on against your parking, JJ. But we shot the grade. It's got a flow to it. And then he would taper my yard down where the water would run to the culvert, and I told him that'd be fine. He said it wouldn't be no big ditch. He said just about like what you got now, just kind of a slope on it. And like I say, I looked at his work he done on 20th Street, and it looked great to me.
Okay. So
I've
what?
been pushed stuff back and back, and nothing ever been done. Like I say, water stands in my yard on this last rain, ain't even got underneath the carport. So I mean, it's not getting any better. And I'm trying to think. A young couple just bought the house across the street from me. They went and got a pump the other day and pumped the water to Ward Avenue, just get it off and keep it from getting underneath their house. That's how bad it is. I mean, it just stands to, like they killed all the grass in my yard on the west side of my house this year.
So
I make a motion to accept the $67.50.
second.
Yes.
Rogers,
I have a question before I ask it. I have a question, because the same thing that Mr., let me get his name right,
Strickland.
Mr. Strickland, the same thing that he has requested is the same thing that we have requested in our area. And I can sympathize with you because, my, flooring rotted because water was
Ran underneath
back.
your house.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And, well, I'm not going into all that, but I can sympathize with you. But we were promised also that the work would be done, and Mr. Chittenden advised that we do the same thing to make a street break, get that water out of the people's yard, so that, you know, we can go on. And ours hadn't been done, and I brought it to the council, and nothing, it was just washed over.
Exactly where,
Pushed back,
exactly where, the
And-
cut.
right there between my property and Mr. Robinson property, just right.
Yeah,
across there.
there's a drain right there.
No, that's, you're talking about Joe's property, I'm talking about, Lucas' property.
No, I'm talking about in front of Blues.
But
There,
the
there's
water, but the water doesn't drain.
but it's not cleaned very often.
Mayor, you've been there. You've
Yes.
seen- And you've seen that. So we don't need to make excuses. I would just like to have Bell Street tagged on to when we do Mr. Strickland's property. I would just like to see something done over there too. The same thing, you just break street
Have they
break.
not started that project?
I thought
Not
that's
the-
what they were doing over.
Not the street break, not the street break. The street break has not been mentioned. What they're doing is putting down the pipe that's going all the way to Ward Avenue. But the water that's will be there over in front of my house. Where, you know, I'm putting down new flooring now. And it's
I'll
not-
call Mr. Chittenden tomorrow about
Mr.
that.
Chittenden has already given instruction, he said to just
But,
break the
well,
street.
I understand, but
and
he
put the
needs
pipe
to,
in.
he needs to come up with, the schedule of how much it costs and what to do and all that stuff for Greg while he's here.
So why hasn't he already been given that?
I don't know. But like I said, I'll call him tomorrow.
Would you call me and let me know what's there? Or should I call you?
I'll probably let you listen to the conversation.
Can the company that's giving James this estimate go over there?
Yes, it's actually, that's the reason why.
Like I said, they come to
This
the
is-
house, he was real nice.
It's GNC Construction, and what we do is we just have like an amendment to the contract to do these little special projects and stuff. So, anyway,
Well, actually, Mr. Chittenden said it could be done in-house, because there's nothing that the city can't do. You're just gonna break the street, you're gonna put down a pipe and you're gonna cover it back over. He said the city could do that.
Yeah.
Not really, I think it's, that we've talked about it before a bunch of times. The water that they're doing now is gonna go from Bell to Seventh Street out to the station, so I don't think there's anything that's going across to that. I mean, it's not gonna go to that
It's
area,
not.
nothing so far.
Do you know what John's recommendation was?
I haven't seen anything from John on that, because he just said that's Terry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my error, cause I didn't even, I thought what we've discussed down by your house has been
I
that
thought that took
flooding.
care of
We all thought that.
So, let's rescind the motion until we have this relooked at, and then we'll do it all at one time.
And that's what I'm saying, it's just, we're missing the point. We don't have to tap it onto the cost of that. According to Mr. Chittenden, and I was there when he talked to Terry, and I hate that it has to be proved that that's what he said, because I'm saying it. But anyway, he said all we have to do is just break the street.
how long ago was
In
that?
my house, when Mr. Chittenden came out and looked at Ninth Street and Bell and.
How long ago?
Oh, I don't know how long ago. It was before we decided to go ahead and approve.
Was it months, years? I'm just asking, I don't know.
I don't know either, Mayor, but I know
I'm
what he
just
said.
speculating. You were there. Okay.
I was
So,
there.
all right,
It's
to
not-
me,
it's
if
not
you want
profit-
something, if you
it's
want
not
something
profit-
accomplished,
it's not profit
if
for
you
me
want,
to sit
if
here
you want
and
something
lie
accomplished,
about something that's been discussed.
I
We've done
understand.
that. So
But
don't challenge
the
me
problem,
like that.
the problem is, we say we're gonna do something, then it doesn't
And
get
it doesn't
done.
get done.
That's right. So the
But we go
easiest
somebody
way,
else and
the
get it
easiest
done.
way is to have someone who's already here that's used to doing this to cut it and do it and get it over with.
Right, he said the city could.
That's my suggestion, and not wait.
And I agree. And he said the city could do that, and it's
'Cause
been
it-
over a year.
It's,
I mean,
okay,
It's been over
All
a
right.
year.
Okay.
And we talked about it.
all right. I'll call him.
I don't have to sit here and lie about that.
All right, let's see. Let's see.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's in regards to Save a Lot. This is why I went. Did Save a Lot say why they're closing?
No.
Did you ask them?
Well, I asked the manager, but they said no business. What she said, but that's not really the people who own it. It's just the manager. But anyway, all right. Next thing is light up Caruthersville. We're now up to 615 CV lights, and of those, 25.5% of the lights are CV light, are LED lights. So we're getting there. So that's about since last month. That's about a 2% jump. So just keep on keeping on, and we'll get there eventually to get 100%. And it'll be cheap to operate these lights, or a whole lot less to operate than the sodium vapor or the halogen. And Martin Luther King Day, the city offices are closed on January 15th, and January calendar council meeting is, so it says we already voted on this, moved from January 15th to January 16th. Next thing is police. Okay. Fire.
Okay, we do have a fire report from the chief, for fire calls from December 18th through January the 2nd. 12/18, there was a vehicle fire at the 8.0 mile marker on I-155 and 412. It ended up being a total loss. On December 23rd, a report of a vehicle fire at the 14 mile marker on Interstate 55, and it was canceled. They canceled the call before the arrival. 12/28, a transformer blown in the alley behind 411 Ward, and it stood by until ambulance crews arrived. The fire department did no damages to any of the buildings. On the 1st, at Southgate Living Center, there was a fire alarm sounding due to a burst water line. And there's presently 120 members in the rural fire subscription. There's 120 fire calls during 2017. The chief has given us a summary of calls for 2017, and he also has included a comparison of the calls done in 2016. Structure fires in 2017 were 15 compared to 7 in 2016. Vehicles, 10 in 17 compared to 8 in 2016. Extrications, we had 5 this year, 2 last year. Year before last. Mutual aid, 1 compared to 3 in 2016. Smoke scares in 2017 were 12 compared to 17 in 2016. Fire alarms were 2 in 2017, and the same in 16. Brush and grass and trash fires in 2017 was 16 compared to 24 in 2016. And other type of calls, there were 20 compared to 23 in 2016. The fire alarms, they say was 27 in 2017 compared to 20 in 2016. Hazardous materials, we had 1 this past year, and none in 2016, which came out to be a total, 2017 was 120 compared to 106 in 2016. The chief states that of the 120 fire calls, 36 were out of town, 9 were gas leak or odor of natural gas, and 2 were medical assistant calls. That's from Chief Charge General. Nothing else to report.
And Terry had a situation at home, had to take an emergency vacation, so frozen pipes. So anyway, so we don't really have a street sanitation report or building inspector report. So code enforcement.
I just recently sent out 9 more letters. I'm currently doing a follow-up with the property. This see if they're gonna get a citation, complaint to the public to get a citation. The city has currently evaded 3 of my requests from different locations, and I am working with Mercyville again to allow another volunteer to come, and this time it'll be a male volunteer.
Okay. All right. And we don't have a cemetery report? Yes?
I don't know if we would rather do it this way or maybe get with the cemetery committee and talk to them about the contract that we have, that we got, and it started as of the 1st of this year with Russ. Russ has been out, and there's a funeral tomorrow, and the question is who's to mark the graves, who's the point of contact after hours, who's doing the billing. Did we ever clarify the $200 of what all Russ knows he's doing within his range? So I didn't know if it would be easier to get with the cemetery committee and kind of look at it and see where
Sure.
we're at, because I think it was, as before, when I asked some questions, I know we had to have a deadline of the first of the year, but I think we did a few things backwards with trying to figure out how all the logistics are. There's a lot more logistically to think about than actually it's in the contract and actually was perceived. So, as of right now, it looks like the city is losing $100 more a month or per grave versus 150. So, but we're making 150 and now we're losing $100. So maybe get with the committee and I had a phone call first thing this morning about this, and it was the concerns of how it was gonna work. Because funny thing is, the other day I had somebody that actually saw a funeral director, someone that owns a funeral home, and we were in a public place and they said, have you been busy? Are you busy? Will you be busy? And it's like that. Most people don't think about the funeral home, or they ask if they were going to close as well. The funeral home, that business never stops. It's all hours of the night. So it's kind of with us as now cemetery. We'll have to have a contact of someone that's going to be able to mark this grave or do this, up front. And you don't think about it, but it's something that we should think about. And so instead of going back and forth, because
Mapping would have been a good idea.
instead of going back and forth, we need to go back to square one and maybe have a conversation with Melissa.
Can I make this,
Yes, ma'am.
can I speak?
Will you please stand, please, so I can hear you. Thank you.
Personally, I do think we need to sit down with the entire committee and start back at square one. I'll probably get shot when I say this. It is a screwed up mess. Don't put that in the paper. We need to start back at square one on the mapping, what it covers, what it costs, who's in charge of what, grave digging, cost. Is that you doing that?
Right.
Stop. Anyway, I personally, I don't even know, I hate to say it, I know Miss Catherine's not wanting to get out in the cold, I understand that. We need to look at our committee. Personally, I don't feel like we have a committee. I don't ever hear or see, or we need, in my opinion, just my opinion, we need to look at the whole thing. I mean, it's bad enough that I would resign, but honest to goodness, I feel like I can't. I received a phone call and I actually have a question that needs to be answered because I haven't been able to get an answer. But if we're gonna all sit down and discuss it, I will hold that question and we can get, but I just feel like those of us who are, there are other people in this audience that has offered to step up and be on the committee. I think we do need to get more members. I think we need to be educated from looking at what the cemetery board does and who does what, and just start all over. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if you ask me a question right now, I can't tell you anything. I mean, I'm being honest, I don't know, I don't know the rules, I don't know who, I don't know. And it's embarrassing. Like I said, I've had a complaint, I had someone call me very upset, and it is an issue. But it all goes, my response was, it goes back to PG, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired of hearing that. I'm sick. I'm tired, it's not a PG, it's not a Smith, it's not I don't care who's pissed at who. It's a business, we need to get on with it.
Sure.
And we need to be able to take care of the people, so I will make you tell me when.
I'd like to attend that meeting too.
Yeah, I would
It can
love
be a
to
public-
see this entire
posting meeting.
council be there.
I mean, we can do it, let's do a public
Public
meeting
meeting.
and have a conversation and see if we can get everyone here and look at the contract that we have
What's
signed
today,
with
Tuesday?
someone else.
We could do it.
And see what's in it, and then actually get a listing.
We
of
could do it
actually-
Thursday.
Melissa, I know you're not the chairman of the committee, but I think it would be worthy prior to that meeting for someone to have a conversation with Russ about his desire to do what he's doing. And it's my understanding that prior to January the 1st, the city charges $600 to open and close a grave. And we paid H.S. Smith $450.
Okay,
So we were making $150.
the city was.
If my information is correct, and I have
It is.
reviewed HS.
It is correct.
Now, if we charge $600 to open and close a grave, and we're paying Russ $700, we're losing $100.
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense.
It was a bid.
It was a bid, but it makes no sense. And if I had known prior to the last meeting, because I asked the question in the meeting, how much do we pay H.S. Smith? And the comment was $600. So my thought was, an extra $100, we need somebody to open the graves, we need somebody to close them, this is quickly approaching. But I do have a problem with the fact that we're going to lose $100 every time we open and close the grave. So I think the committee needs to be aware of that.
Right.
And we need to figure out a solution to that.
Right, so,
In
I
my
mean, I don't
opinion.
think we can pass that on.
No, I
But
think we
You
can.
know,
It's-
I don't,
But I
it's-
also asked you, and you said that our contract with Russ is an open contract.
It is, it had no,
I know it.
So,
no.
I know, so, anyway, that's just an awareness, I think you all need. to-
But on the private side, it's my understanding they charge $700 to open and close a grave.
Russ Riggs' bid was $700,
I know.
okay,
I said on the private side.
on the private side.
But
We're talking about the city of
I know
Caruthersville.
that. I know that. In comparison, they're side by side.
Okay.
You can't tell one from the other.
It does,
doesn't
but if
matter.
we're going to say now we're going to pay
Okay.
someone $700, then are we going to charge $700? Are we gonna take $100 hit every time somebody's buried? That's what I'm.
As of
trying-
right now, we
I
are.
can't meet.
Well, we don't wanna continue to do business that
I
way.
really need to get out of this week if I can.
Okay, can you maybe see, you have a committee. Can you see what your committee, because you have people on there that have different schedules, see if I can get a date together, and then we'll all discuss it
For
and
the
go.
cemetery board?
There, as of right now, there is a plan in place that has been worked out, that, thank goodness,
That
PG
can cover us and.
PG and Russ
Okay.
have worked out together, that is working.
Okay,
Thank you for that, business-wise.
well, I'll,
But we do need to get together, and we need to do it as quick as possible, but
Right.
it needs to work for everyone so that we can get back on the same page without any outside influence.
alright, I'll get a hold of the other three,
Okay.
and there's only three, right? I mean, I'm only.
There's
going-
5, but
Well,
yes,
who's
yeah.
the fifth one, because nobody ever shows up. It's me and Catherine, Sandra Hooker,
Yes, Polly Lunsford and
Luther.
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 oh,
Luther was
okay,
here.
okay, I forget him, okay. So I'll get up, yeah, I'll see where he went, but, yeah, I'll see when we can, I'll text y'all or email
If you do that, then we will get with Tequila and see if she can email everybody out.
Okay, and, again, I may be out of turn, I'm asking, is it possible when we have this meeting to have the documents that I would like to see the contract that we had with Smith. I would like to see the contract that we have with Riggs. Just,
You're
I mean,
right.
I would,
I agree.
I can't make
Huh?
It was in the
decisions
bid
based
package.
on
Okay.
that.
It can be found.
And
Well-
I'm curious as to what the cemetery committee's concerns were with why they got us to this point anyway with H.S. Smith.
Unfortunately, I wasn't
Okay, does anybody know
here
that?
You're one of two people that remember we didn't have a meeting. We didn't have a
That's my
quorum.
question.
Yeah, what happened between the city and H.S. Smith that we're in this mess?
I have no idea. We received a letter, 3 months ago.
What prompted that letter?
I have no clue.
You didn't
Not for
follow up
certain.
on it? You didn't call them up and say, what's going on? I need to know something?
First
I mean,
off,
you could leader in the city, excuse me, I'm out of turn.
Okay.
And your answers are, I don't know about that, Save-A-Lot is closing, and I don't know why they're closing, but it seems like that the mayor, in the best interest of the city, would dig up those answers and try to
I told you.
intervene or do something about
Well,
it. Instead of
yes.
saying, the manager
Well,
told
all
me
you can
that.
do, this is private business,
Yeah.
and all you can do is number one is call who owns it, and they lease that building that they're in, and as I said, when I sent an email to corporate about it, and then they sent 2 minutes later they sent me an email back asking about if there were any other locations available. And as I said, I tried a number of times today to call, but all I got was voicemail.
Okay, I've been coming
So.
for several months, and this is always the list on here, and every time you give your report, you say, I don't know that, I don't know that, I don't know why they're leaving,
Well,
something like that. and
I'll tell you,
it just gets nowhere.
I'll tell you this,
Saying
that,
about your street.
government is slow. It's just kind of like this Marla project. We started on it a year ago, and it's just now coming to fruition. It takes a while.
Well, I
So,
was like,
and
back
so
to
you
the
can't
state
expect
law,
answers overnight. So I do them as fast as I can.
And the mayor should be knowing why a business is closing. What can I do to
Well-
help? What didn't we do? And now you say they wanna know if there's another place, and they said, for what? Are they gonna open? You said, I don't know.
Well, I don't, but not until I talk to them directly. But when we go into closed session, then we're going to talk about some other things. Okay?
But no, that's what's confusing.
No.
First you said that they asked about another building, but then you.
No.
also- you
No,
said
they said another location.
that. Okay, obviously they're not gonna say.
Okay, but not. I think that from what they said, to me it seemed like they were saying like a new building,
Okay,
but maybe not.
When they told Sonia, they said that they didn't have business.
I'll let you see the emails.
You said that they
But-
didn't have business.
Okay.
But anyway.
Came on your computer and they said, or you said something and they sounded like they wanted a building. You should have already asked that. What's the problem? Why are you leaving? Can we not
But
accommodate?
all I'm getting is voicemail.
Would pick up the phone.
I'm saying when you call the number they gave me, it's not an email address that you can actually reach the person. They gave me a number to call.
Like
Pardon
Joe
me?
Smith, corporate office of Save-A-Lot, you couldn't
I,
get that.
this is where it went. This is where the email went, was to corporate. And corporate sent back an email saying first, sorry, we hate to tell you we're leaving town or whatever. And then 2 minutes later, I got another email that said, you might have another location. You have another location in mind.
Did you
So,
email them some locations?
well, first of all, it said that email said to call this particular number. Okay, so that's what I've been doing, is calling this particular number.
So
All
when
right.
did they tell you that there was no business?
So I'm, and like I said, Save-A-Lot's a big company, and so as soon as I get word, then I'll know.
Can I
But
say
anyway,
something?
yes, sir.
I hope this is not out of order, and with all due respect, and when you said corporate, okay, this is the experience that I had with Save-A-Lot to do Salvation Army bell ringing. We approached them, we went in the store, and we made personal contact with people there. And
With whom?
with the manager that's out
Okay,
there.
all right.
And what he told us was that he would have to contact his corporate office, and he did, and immediately he got back. But what I'm saying is that I probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere if I hadn't went out there and made a personal contact with someone.
I did go out
and
there.
talk to him, and
So I do know who the franchisee is.
okay, I'm sure.
I just
I'm
don't-
not challenging that. All
but-
I'm saying, I'm looking at the logistics and the logic of things.
Well-
Something as simple as Salvation Army bell ringing, I think business leaving town or making a decision to leave takes precedence over that. I would think that you would have more influence than I would. And
But I got
getting in touch
but the
with
but
somebody
the phone
that can
call's
help
got to
make
go
a
through
decision.
before I can make any kind of discussion with them. And
All I think you need to do
but
is
I keep on
follow
leaving
up.
my name and number. You know, they sent me. They're the ones that sent me the number to contact. So that's what I'll keep on doing. All right.
I wanted to add to you,
Yes,
because what you're feeling about the committee
yes.
is, I'm gonna speak for myself, and Ed may have the same feeling, but you're right with the mapping, the contract, everything like that. I am not against any of that, but like we discussed, we need the full information because we are also a business.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to make sure our decisions are in the best interest of our business.
I got a phone call this afternoon that said, so city council decided that we cannot have the mapping.
Mhm.
And I said, that's a lie. So, who told you that? That's not true. I said, what city council wants to know is, what are we paying for? What is it going to do? What benefits will we get? I said, if all we're gonna have is findagrave.com, no, we're not gonna do it. Because I said, you can do that for free on the computer. I said, so we need to get together to see exactly what it's gonna cover for our $13,000.
And how it's gonna be used.
Exactly,
And who's
exactly.
gonna-
Were you here when they did the presentation? The guy did the presentation.
No,
Okay.
no. But a lot of people who were here for the presentation still has that same question. I'm not saying he didn't do good on the presentation.
I don't know why they didn't ask questions in.
Well, I can't answer that either.
We're not trying to be argumentative.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm not talking,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, we're trying to get to somewhere. and
Right.
We're not trying to be
Okay.
argumentative.
Well, we're going to have a meeting and Catherine Parsons is the chairman, and I'll talk to her tomorrow, and so we
No.
can be.
If either you're gonna contact them or I am.
Yeah, you go ahead. That's fine.
then
You got a phone number?
Leave it alone,
Okay.
and I'll let you
All
know
right, gotcha.
what they tell me.
Okay.
Um,
You got to have 24 hours notice.
We can't do it Thursday. We've all
No,
decided
we
can't
can't
do
do
it
it Thursday, so I'm
Okay.
gonna see when they can,
Okay.
then let all y'all
Okay.
know to see when
All right.
y'all can, and then all of us get together. And
All
what, whoever said something about what could we do, or what happened to the Smith, personally, I'm hoping once we get all of our ducks lined up, maybe we can go back to the old days. I know, I get it, but maybe if we can get a committee that will work with Smiths, take whoever the mayor is out of it, and I'm just saying whoever, then maybe we can go back to the old way when everything was working well.
So nobody knows why they didn't wanna do it.
Well, yeah. I'll listen.
Yes.
But yes.
Okay, I'm a little confused. I don't plan on it, but if I die tonight or tomorrow, and I want to be buried in the city cemetery, can I be buried?
I can't hear what she said.
Yes.
You got to talk louder.
Okay,
Yes.
who will dig the grave?
PG, the way it's worked out right now, and that's what Nick was saying a while ago, for right this minute, we are on an emergency plan that Riggs is who we're dealing with, but PG Manners is who is digging the
Still got
graves,
stones?
opening and closing. If any, God forbid you die, yes, we are still functioning just like
I'm
we
not
should.
repeating myself, but if I'm hearing this right, it's gonna cost the city a swing of $250
That's what I'm hearing.
to have Russ rigged. Did you all ever see a contract?
The bid was $700 to open and close
Is
the
there
grade.
a contract?
There was a
No.
contract in the bid package that went out with the bids that were requested.
I'll ask my question again.
Oh, we
Did
don't.
council see that?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
What'd she say?
I just have a lot
She's
of-
asking if there was a contract with Riggs. and did we
There was a
see it?
contract in the bid package.
I have a lot of confidence in those people because they've got my well-being in their hand, and I just can't see those 8 people sitting up there, much less your committee, with the situation that the city is in now, giving away, I'm not saying give away, because people are working for that money, but giving away and having a swing of $250.
No.
Something doesn't smell very good.
Well, the cemetery fund's a proprietary fund, so only money that's can go in and out of there has to do with the cemetery. So I understand what you're saying, and but he made a bid, and that was the only bid. It's hard not to take a bid if that's the only one submitted, whether you like it or not, you know. So, all right, where are we? We on Parks yet?
Yes.
You already did it.
Everything's good at Parks and Recreation.
Well, thanks for starting the truck today for me. Okay. So who's next? Is it library? Is it library or budget? Budget? Are you budget? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna, I'm sure y'all do, but I hope y'all are paying attention to these sales tax distribution reports. And with businesses continuing to close, it's only gonna get worse. And everybody sitting around this table's educated. And when you get less money, you can't have more expenditures. It's just that simple. And if this doesn't turn around, we've got some problems. Okay? The other thing I'm saying to you all and to this other 8 council members, regarding the finance committee minutes, I apologize that I did not list who attended the meetings. If anybody has any concerns, there are 4 people on the committee. It's Matt, me, Nick, and Johnny. Prior to this last appointment, I think BT was on it. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay, in place of Nick. Normally, the only people that attend the meetings are the people on the committee. But occasionally, some of these department heads have attended if we're discussing budget items. They come in and out, sometimes they stay the whole time, sometimes they don't. There has been no, effort to try to hide who attends those meetings. We've just never been asked before to do that, even though I do agree it's a good idea. All the committees that meet at school, we list who attends the meetings. Actually, we have sign-in sheets. So I can assure you that every finance committee that I chair from here on out, for as long as I might be doing that, I will have sign-in sheets, and people will sign in when they enter, and they will sign out when they leave. If there has been anybody else that has attended that I am not aware of, I apologize, but I don't believe in any meeting I've ever had, there has been any outsider ever come to a meeting. Are y'all aware of anybody?
Doug.
Absolutely not.
Other than Doug McDowell, you're correct. He has attended one, I believe. I sent an email when the mayor asked me for these names, and I told him who I could remember that had attended all the meetings. I included every finance committee member and asked them if they could clarify for me any other person that attended, and nobody could recall. We have an insurance committee, we have a street and sanitation committee, we have a water committee, we have a cemetery board, and I have yet, other than one cemetery meeting, I believe, and maybe one airport board meeting, seen any minutes in our packet. But every meeting I've had, I've been asked for the minutes, and I have sent them, and they have been in the packets. And not only, I've done my due diligence in doing finance reports for these people and email them to everybody. So if you have an issue with the way I handle my meetings, don't appoint me again.
No.
to be the head of the finance
My only statement was the people who attended. That was
Right.
it.
And
Period.
my question is, why are you just asking me and you haven't asked.
Because the other ones have who at the meetings, who doesn't?
Have y'all seen any minutes or listened?
Since I've been the chair of the street committee, we have not recorded 1 minute.
Thank you.
The water people.
Water is the only one that I know of, and the water
And
is a
Gina
totally different
used to come in there
situation,
and
and
do it.
that's because Gina does it, and it was not done
It just
prior to
started.
Gina.
It
Right.
just started.
It just started.
But
It
I
wasn't
will
done
assure
when I was
you,
chairman.
from
Only
here
to
on
the
out,
committee, that's it.
as long as I'm the chairman of it, you will know, and if y'all want a copy, ask me and I'll give you a copy. Matter of fact, I'll give you a copy of the minutes, because there is nothing we're trying to hide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, library.
It's the quiet time of year for the library. We finished Christmas story time. I worked on another digitization of the newspapers grant and I submitted it last Friday. This is to digitize the old Republican newspaper, which was Caruthersville based, went up to 1963, I think 22 to 63. The Hayti Herald from the beginning up to 1966, and the Steel Enterprise from the beginning, I think 1923 might be all that the state archives have, up to 1966. So if we get all of that, we'll have the entire county digitized, all of the newspapers, where you can just access them from your home on your computer. Search all of them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Water, sewer.
I just want to say thanks to the guys. We had to go out, I think Saturday, on West 10th Street, had a main break. It was very cold. We got it done real quick. They did a good job. And also, JJ, Sue, and Nick, or not Nick, but BT coming by and check on us. They all appreciated that. Just remind everybody as it gets warmer, that's what I've been coming in and out for today in this meeting. Everything's starting to thaw a little bit, so we're having a lot of people call and just say, watch your stuff because it's gonna thaw out if it's frozen. Probably go all over your house. So we've had probably in the last 3 days, probably 6 or 7 just at night calls doing that. So just listen for water and watch for it.
Started to call you come to school last night.
We wanna thank y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all did it.
That's all I got.
All right. New business? All right.
Oh. Yeah, I got new business. It is totally new business. With the discussion of closures of stores in town and going back and forth on different things, we've seen rumors and seen things that the reason is that there is an ordinance, as in any other city, of shoplifting. There are fines in place. The police department is going to make an effort, and they do a good job with the ones that are still here. They're gonna make an effort to go around to the businesses that are still here and let them know and kind of educate, discuss with them what the procedures would be, who to contact if that happens. Maybe put the ordinance out there on something that they can post up, but there is a fine. I will turn that over to Lawrence, of what, if you are caught shoplifting, it's not something that is taken lightly when it's called, and the police department takes care of it. So, the city is taking a proactive and has been. They have Dollar General gets several calls out there. So the police department is doing a good job with this, but we're gonna take it a step further and educate and let that know that if you are caught, it's not gonna be just hey, let us have the things back.
And I want to say thank you to Councilman Carty, because he did take the effort to contact the businesses to find out what's going on. Was part of the reason the businesses are up and want to leave, and that's part of, he's looking into things. So is Council Lady Bulletin. She and I talked about it today, and there's a few things that we want to work on to try to keep these businesses that that we have here to stay here and to attract other business. As I said once before, kinda like advertising out on the interstate and getting what the mayor has in this deal about the lights out here on South Ward. Let's continue to work on that, try to get that going on, and get some of that business off that interstate out there. I remember when I first started working here, you used to see about 2 or 3 cars an hour going down 155, going either direction. Now you see them all the time, because GPS gets them off 40 to 412, back to 155 to 55 now. So we got a lot of traffic coming through there. Let's pull some of that traffic on the town and get some of those tax dollars there. So let's all just work together and make the city better.
I'll add that we prosecute a number of cases in municipal court for shoplifting, and they're actually some of the best worked cases I see come through the municipal court. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but our success rate on those prosecutions is very high. Most of those prosecutions do go through with a guilty verdict or a plea of guilt. So police do a good job. The maximum penalty for shoplifting is $500 and the possibility of a 90-day incarceration. So I think you have the tools in place in your code book as it is for that stealing charge, and we probably ought to look at the actual fines imposed on those and see if we could maybe increase those some. They're in the mid-range of the range for punishment. So,
right, but that's nothing we need to change in the ordinance. It's just
no. It'd be something we could talk to the judge about that and discuss the possibility of maybe setting a different bond within the range, or a different fine within the range as the normal fine that's imposed. So.
All right.
Council Lady Grantham right there, she's a business person. Just recently, we dealt with the theft from her business, and prosecuted the guy for that. So it's
And they're there every time I need them.
Yeah.
They're wonderful to show up and get there.
I guess it's because the wealth isn't here or whatever it is, but there's a lot of thefts going on, and we're doing our best to try to get the people. So
Yeah.
We have a lot of situations going on. It's just like anywhere else. People are going online to shop.
Yes.
The Walmart is not here anymore. They go over there to the shop, so they're gonna buy groceries there. They're gonna get the stamps. They're gonna get everything. One-stop shopping. So we're like everybody else. But I know everybody is looking around and trying to see what we can do to pull new industry into the city. Industry is not just like it was. We're not factories and all that kind of stuff. We need to look at something different to bring something to the city. And it's gonna happen.
Even if we have to bring small business in, anything helps.
And it's gonna happen.
Chief, I also, I think it's on all of us to try and preserve and protect everything that we have. For example, there's a lot of traffic going in and out of Dollar General. I was in there one night and I was really upset because, and I don't know if I think it's probably due to night management, but there were a lot of kids hanging around, and I know, I didn't see anybody, but I know they were probably stealing.
That's one of the issues we discussed today.
And they were kind of intimidating customers. I mean, you're in a store now, and I had these young kids walking to me, can I carry your stuff out for you? I don't need you to carry my stuff out. And I don't back down from teenagers. But the people that were around, they were asking other people the same kind of question. I saw some ladies that seemed like they were a little bit intimidated. My point of the question is that even without the management saying anything, is it possible that our court could, our police department could monitor that area a little closer?
That's one of the issues I'm gonna address with all the officers Thursday when I have my department meeting. We just talked about that today. Some young men in there using profanity, scaring some of the customers away.
Yeah.
Everything we talked about, that we're addressing those issues.
I do wanna say that too, with the conversation that was had today, I think everybody in town has had the same thoughts. same discussions at Christmas dinner, at New Year's Eve, at just any family get together. And it came to light today when 4 of us on a conference call had the same exact conversations with several people. And so we know it's going on. And the police department is not, and the city is not gonna let it go on anymore. They're gonna take a proactive stance on it, and they're gonna move with it. And I think that's a great thing. So, you know, nothing happens overnight.
Right.
But I was pleased to have that conversation because I heard several different times throughout the holiday season with different groups, the same conversation, and to have that with those guys. And they had already been looking at some things. So, like I said, it doesn't change overnight, but the police department has your back, and you shouldn't be afraid to go anywhere.
Let's just
And it is a good town, and it is
got
still
here.
home, so, all right, so. If you see it, call them in.
Have we thought about or discussed or considered, I know, isn't still putting on the ballot the, whatever, to collect sales tax on internet sales?
Use tax,
Use
yes,
tax.
that's the way that's worked, yes, that they are.
Is that something we need to look at?
You could, it's something that the town could do, they could put a use tax on, and
How does that work?
It actually captures some of the internet sales tax. It protects your local businesses in some way because it puts them on the same footing as individuals who may be selling online. So there would be use tax potentially collected on some of those sales, and it's still a voluntary item if they're out of the state, because the sales tax and use tax don't necessarily attach to those sales. However, I guess the big one that's out there is Amazon, and Amazon has indicated that they will start collecting the use tax and paying over those use taxes. So it's possible to capture some sales tax from those items that used to be bought here in town that are now being purchased online.
So do we have
So
to pass this?
you would have to place a ballot issue on the ballot. It could be done either at this election or a subsequent election.
And if you did in April, it'll be free.
What's that?
If you did in April,
if you did in April, the election wouldn't cost you really any more. So if you did it any other time, there would be a substantial expense to putting it on the ballot.
Do we have a deadline of when it needs to be on?
Yeah, it's when's the last day for filing?
Well,
17th 's last day for filing.
Well, I'm
It's
guessing.
it's 1 week after that. So our final certification date's 1 week following the closing of sign up for the election.
What's the downside to it? Is there a reason why we wouldn't do
Consumer
it?
may,
Huh?
the consumer may take on a little more cost. That'd be the downside of it, am I correct?
Yeah, of
If you
course.
order
Of course,
online.
if you're paying
tax.
you'd be paying tax. You'd be paying a use tax.
That's why I think you don't see it pass a lot of places.
Yeah, and to be honest, and frank, the use tax is not just capturing those internet sales. It's any out of state transaction that any goods that are shipped into into this state from a state that's from a vendor that does not collect sales tax.
So now when you go buy something out of state and they say
They ship it,
we'll
yeah.
deliver it and you won't have to pay tax, you would then be paying tax.
Well,
Is that
not
what you're-
necessarily,
Not necessarily.
because you can't force that vendor to collect that sales tax. If you'll notice when you file your Missouri tax return, there's your income tax return, there's a use tax form that's included in that, and there are limits within which you have to do that. So for the first so many dollars, you don't have that are purchased out of state, you don't have to pay that use tax. But then when it hits that level, then there's a use tax that's applied to those, and that's something that you have now anyway from the state standpoint. It's just that the city's portion would also be added to that as well. So it's and like I said, it is protecting your in-state and local vendors because it puts them on the same footing as the out-of-state merchants. So
You did drew up something regarding that earlier. Remember when we considered doing that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to draft, you want me to draft it?
Yeah.
I'll draft an ordinance for you to consider. And of course, it's always the voters' decision as to whether they
Right.
allow the imposition of it or not.
Do it on the April ballot as opposed to paying,
Yeah,
Yeah, you're probably looking at $3,000 or $4,000 probably if you do it on any other election cycle.
but you could do it, is there a, if we don't do it this April, we could look at it next April?
Well, sure. Yeah, there's no deadline
I
for
mean,
it.
that's worth looking at.
Mhm.
Any other business from the floor?
Well, I have
We haven't done
something.
public business on the floor yet.
No, we
That was
haven't.
That was new business.
Okay. Any other new business? Call from business from the floor?
I have something, and I know you brought this up last time, Mike, but I'm not sure that the people heard it. I got a call from Randall Waldrop's mother, who is asking me to tell the city council how much they appreciated everything that we did for them and the flowers that were sent, and that they really appreciated it. But she wasn't sure that got heard, and I know.
Okay, I read it.
I know you did, but just wanted to bring
Okay.
that to the attention, and
And-
so maybe it could be printed.
And there was money that was set aside for the Rick Davis Sportsplex. You know where that?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And there's some people who have made donations to that. And but are you collecting the money?
It's being dropped off at the rec center, and Randall's family's picked it up.
Okay. So I don't know how many donations or whatever, but that was one of the things in lieu of flowers. And I'm sure that when we have the park board meeting, we might discuss what might be done with that money or whatever.
It'll be next Wednesday.
Right. Okay. Any other business from the floor?
I sent my property taxes here, and it's, as of today, my check's never cleared the bank.
I've had several people say
So
that.
I think we need to look at modernizing the collector's office a little bit. Kinda antiquated in there, pushing a lot of paper. I don't know, I'm not a tax expert, but you got envelopes and checks not been negotiated, and this is not meant to be critical of the collector or anything like that, just got money sitting around, hadn't been deposited, hadn't been, you know, I don't know. If you need to have more people in there during tax season to help them, by all means, hire people, put them in there to help them. And you got November, you got December, probably part of January. A lot of paper to be looked at, handled. She doesn't have enough help in there, put somebody in there to get this stuff processed. You know, nobody need to be holding a check for a month.
I thought that was a problem, that we had another employee that was addressed because he held checks. Has that not been addressed with all of our employees?
What? Say again?
His concern is that he wrote a check.
I know it
and
hadn't
hasn't
cleared
gone-
yet.
It hasn't cleared.
Right.
And we had a conversation about this within the last 6 to 8 weeks, because that was a problem in another department. So why, I guess my question is, all of our employees that collect money need to know that the money needs to be deposited in a timely manner. I also had someone talk with me about mailing their taxes in, and they've yet to receive a receipt, and it's been mailed in for almost 4 weeks.
Sitting in the office in here,
So-
with the checks and the envelope sitting there.
Right.
Now, they're working on them. I was in there today, they're working on them, but I've seen quite a few piles in there, and like I say, I'm not here criticizing the collector or anything. What I'm saying is, if it's something that it requires some modernization to the process, you know, then I think it's money well spent to speed it up a little bit. But if she needs more help during the crunch season, spend the money and get somebody in there to help her.
I do want you to know this. When it was, this collector started, the help was presented.
Yeah.
It's not on file, it's not any monetization, but how it's done in the process of that and how it works. But it's not only the checks aren't getting paid, you know, your check's not going through your account, but they're not going through our account and we're not showing income on that.
Right.
Which is a
No,
huge,
no,
which is a huge deal compared to, we've had some other issues with mortgage companies that have been charged to send your bill to them if you have a mortgage with them, and they're being charged per hour and whatever else you want to charge to send your receipt to them to get our our taxes paid. It's gonna help and benefit our city as income. So it has stopped the process. The process has gone backwards. It wasn't like that before. So, and I've had numerous conversations and numerous non-return phone calls. So there is an issue. It's a huge issue. And there is help in there that we didn't know was help in there, but there's been help in there.
Yeah, I know, but the help that's in there hadn't been, the woman has another job too besides that. So actually, they probably could use even another person in there during the 3 months, 2 people. That way, it frees up somebody to work the window when somebody comes in, and then somebody over there processing those payments and everything. Getting the stuff mailed out to people.
Why are we charging mortgage companies to send invoices?
I thought you said we couldn't.
It takes a
No, I
lot
had
of time
discussion
for
with
what
Rebecca about that.
She might have like
And,
50
she
people
was-
on one
well,
sheet.
that's- I keep that
It takes-
privilege,
What?
but
You know, the county has 3 people plus they have,
I didn't
it's
think it was appropriate.
computerized.
I
know, but still, you still got a lot of.
The county also, the county
thought it
also
was.
prints our receipts and our statements for us and are separated. And we also mailed out the receipts to all of our customers this year and not the notices. We mailed out the receipts. And they come out in 2 phases. The mortgagee companies, they're already divided. They come out first. And they are mailed out separately.
I've seen it down there. There's a lot
This is a
going
hot
on.
topic because I have been lied to twice by this collector with people on the phone.
That's pretty stiff.
So, and we're charging $8.50 an hour plus another fee where it's $25 or whatever to mortgage companies that we should have had them out to those companies by November the 1st. And I'm not real sure that all of them have their statements, if we're still holding them in there.
I'm not sure because I was contacted by my mortgage company to see why I had not, why they haven't gotten a bill to pay my taxes. Mine are escrow, and they're
Exactly.
holding money to pay my taxes because they don't have a tax
It's
statement.
guaranteed money to the city that is paid by another company because the customer is paying it on their loan.
Yes.
And we're charging the mortgagee company that is holding our money to give them
Is
a
that legal?
statement.
And I mean, mine alone.
I've already advised the collector with respect to that, and
What
I
was your
did,
advice?
my advice was that I did not feel that
And I
was an
don't think it's-
appropriate charge.
But how can we do something like that without the city council's knowledge or approval, or you knowing about it? I mean, do we just allow that to happen? I mean, my taxes are escrow too, and the statement was sent to me.
My feeling was that she was doing
Everybody got that
it, my feeling was that she was doing it based upon the freedom of, the sunshine law fees, and I just didn't, I advised that wasn't a sunshine law request, and that was a normal course of business request.
That's just a service we
Well,
should provide.
I think, since she's not here, I believe what happened was that the statements were printed, and when they were cut, instead of sending them to the way they had been in previous years, it was a certain way, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go against you on that one.
Uh,
because I know
well,
what you were
I don't
told,
know.
that the county
That's what I was
printed them
told.
differently this year than they did last year.
Allegedly.
If you would like to call the county collector's office,
No.
you can ask them.
No, because I'm
They're
gonna
not
collect their
printed any
taxes.
different than they were last year.
Okay.
And they were cut
That's-
by hand.
And they were cut by hand.
Because I received about 70 of them, and they're every one just cut by hand.
Obviously, that was an error. To send the receipt to the.
Send the receipt
Right.
and your mortgage statement
Right.
that is escrowed
Right.
to you.
That was a mistake. So, live and learn. All righty. Anything else? Go ahead.
Across the hall, there is not enough manpower to produce efficiency that you all are complaining about, and that's in all fairness. They work very hard, and the volume of paperwork is really excessive for one person, and then the second person that comes at 2:00.
But the collector that was before, did we ever pay someone pay additional funding for part-time help, or did Donna get them out on her own?
She had help.
She did
No,
it on
we
her
never-
own?
We
she
didn't
got
We didn't
help,
pay
but
it.
we didn't pay for it.
She
No,
got help
that's
though.
what I'm saying.
She paid for it, I believe.
Exactly. She would sometimes hire someone out of her own pocket to come up at night and help her.
She shouldn't have.
She
to,
shouldn't
but
have
did.
to.
She should, exactly, but the
It was
statements
like that.
were out on time.
And she also was open during the tax season most every day, all day
Exactly.
long, and this office is not open.
Which is funny, cause she's at
And
the bank
answered
a
the
lot.
phone.
And we're paying, and she's also,
When is the
but
office
John,
not open?
there's
You
been
said the office wasn't open.
there have
When's
been
it not
days
open?
when people have come up here to pay their taxes, and there's been a sign on the window saying that they should
During
be back.
lunchtime or?
No,
No.
Going to the bank.
no.
That is true.
That is,
Well, like I said, if you only got one person in there, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You got to do.
So hire someone to help this.
We hired somebody.
Put them in there to work. What are you saving money for?
The office is open every day that the building is open, and she took off one day, I know, for the holidays. Now, when she's here between she gets in at 9:30, during lunch, she's closed from 12 to 1:30. Her lunch is 12 to 1, the 1 to 1:30 is the post office and the bank run. And sometimes in the morning, she goes to the bank, to do deposit work. And I understand the frustration, but it's her,
She's here to
again,
six o'clock.
2,000, and like you said, it needs to be modernized with computerization. And there needs to be 2 full-time people all day.
No.
One full-time person.
But you know what, the collection of taxes was so minimal.
There were
More
more people and more money.
Yeah.
The population was greater.
Yeah.
Taxes were greater.
Well,
The
a lot of folks didn't pay.
businesses were more numerous.
A lot of people didn't pay. They didn't know they had to pay city taxes. From what I hear, I mean, they weren't paying. They paying now though.
Yeah, taxes are high.
All right.
And how did you know?
Any other?
How did you not know you had to pay city taxes? People don't.
So I think this is a conversation probably we ought to have with Ms. Morgan at the same time. Any other business from the floor? Okay, introduction to bills.
Yes. I think you have in your packet a bill that, if passed, would be an ordinance. And I noticed I'd prepared that with the assumption, I guess, I shouldn't assume, I guess, but I had assumed that the whole schedule of salaries would be included on that. And I think all that was attached was Table B. So I reworded the ordinance a little bit to reflect that. So if you could attach that to your Schedule Bs that you have on that I think that'll clear up the discrepancy. Well, it's got Table Bs on the ordinance, and I drafted it for the whole.
is this the one I sent you?
No,
It doesn't look like it.
I think it's the one that they had here at City Hall. Yeah.
The one I sent you has clarification on whether, but that's.
Do we need to wait and do it
That's up to you.
at the next meeting with that other schedule? I'd already sent it out to the clerk, and I thought that would be the same schedule as what you had sent me, and I guess it probably wasn't. It's the same numbers. It's the same numbers, isn't it?
You think they'll just redo it? to make it.
The
March.
schedule, amount on it is the same, is correct, but the heading on it is more specific as to
On yours.
law enforcement, non-patrol, and law enforcement patrol. Do it.
You wanna redo it?
But everything else is
I mean,
accurate on it.
Everything's accurate.
Are we in a hurry to do this? Are we in a hurry to get this
It's going
done?
into effect this week, so.
Goes into effect this week. I think we probably ought to go ahead and do it. And we can, what does the, new schedule say at the header? Do you have
I'll
that?
pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Is there anything else you need to do while I'm pulling it up?
I'll just redo it.
I think that it goes into effect this week.
No wonder.
Thanks, Sonia.
I know cold
My
too.
my feet are cold.
Huh?
My feet are cold.
And mine are too, and I have on boots.
She has some of the kin folks in there helping out here, but I don't care what she did, we'll put somebody in there to work. I don't care.
Okay,
That's what going in. Just a fan.
Does not feel like air conditioner to me. Is it?
I don't know. We're feeling no heat. Kinda cool right now.
okay, table B says,
Hopefully that'll move up.
okay, the way it is, it's a schedule, it's one piece of paper. And it says table A, base, table B, patrol. It's on the same chart, and at the bottom it clarifies who's patrol and who's base.
Okay.
Or not, it just says non-patrol personnel.
We got
It says
Can you email
patrol
it and then
personnel.
print, and print
Yeah,
it?
I've emailed it, he's
Print it.
got it. Yeah. but
Can we
it's-
print it to?
Yeah.
The heat is not budgeted.
Come on, Sonia. God.
Oh, wow. I had it on 80.
Okay, but it is no heat, not air. It just really, it
No,
just.
maybe you just turn the fan on while it makes it cold.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
I'm gonna try that heater in my truck.
That's a good idea.
It's not letting me. I can turn this off, hang on. Maybe that'll do it. It's kinda hard to.
I put it on 80.
I tell you, we can tell the difference, man.
Yeah.
That's cold air.
It's on
You want me to email it to Keila?
Let's treat it like this.
Okay.
On section one, after the words pay plans, after the phrase pay plan schedules, strike out attached here to incorporated herein by reference and place in there as presented at this meeting. Okay, and that's the table that she just described, which includes both of these tables. It's exactly the same thing as is on table B, but they're combined into one table. And it has a description of who fits into which category at present, so. Okay, so a motion for a first reading of bill number 2018-801 would be in order.
And I'll send you a copy tomorrow, Keila.
Okay, thank you. Rogers. Duckworth.
Yes.
Bulletin.
Yes.
Carty.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grandson.
Yes.
It's bill number 2018-01, an ordinance amending ordinance 2017-08, and a play plan adopted therein. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Caruthersville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, ordinance number 2017-08, as previously amended by ordinance number 2017-09, is hereby further amended by the adoption of play plan schedules as presented at this meeting. All other provisions of ordinance 2017-08 shall remain in full force and effect. This ordinance shall not be codified, but shall be maintained in the city's personnel policy manual in addition to the ordinance book for the city. Section 4 of this ordinance shall be effective from and after the date of its passage and approval.
Motion for second reading by title only.
Bill number 2018-01, an ordinance amending ordinance 2017-08 and the pay plan adopted therein.
Question? Shall this, ready for the motion?
Yep.
Shall this bill become law? Call the roll.
Rogers.
Yes.
Duckworth.
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes.
Partee.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grantham.
Yes.
All righty. So, the next thing is, resolution motion, a motion for closed session. How about, property?
Legal. Property and legal.
Yeah, whatever property.
I make a motion to go to closed session for property and legal.
Second.
Rogers.
Yes.
Duckworth.
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes.
Partee.
Yes.
Rittenberry.
Yes.
Hood.
Yeah.
Meredith.
Yes.
Grantham.
Yes.
Yeah.